The reason godly relationships fail isn't a lack of spiritual connection or even prayer. It's a divine relationship design mismatch that most Christians never discover. Today, I'm revealing the three relationship patterns that change everything. In our previous conversations, we've established two important truths. One, being equally yoked. First, being equally yoked is just a starting point. It's not the complete picture. And second, understanding your divine relationship design is the key to relationship success. And second, discerning God's choice requires an understanding of your specific relationship design. Today, I'm taking you deeper into what those patterns actually look like. What if I told you that there were specific relationship success markers? What if I told you there are distinct specific patterns? What if I told you there are distinct relationship success patterns? What if I told you there are distinct relationship success patterns that point to why some spiritually matched relationships succeed and others don't? I'm Renikis L. Strong, founder of Love Elevated with Arnitra. Today, I'm Arnitras L. Strong, founder of Love Elevated with Arnitra. And today, I'm revealing how these patterns manifest in real life and understanding how yours changes how you approach relationships altogether. If you've ever wondered why godly counsel conflict or why you keep experiencing the same relationship patterns over and over, this revelation is going to change everything. I can clearly remember being in a relationship for way longer than I should have because I believe that the circumstances surrounding how I met this person had to point to the fact that we were just destined to be together. I looked past every red flag. I held on for dear life, even when his actions were showing me that he didn't really want me, he didn't really value me or the relationship. I was having a problem discerning God's choice, and maybe I was commingling my own wants and desires and making them, trying to twist them into God's choice for me. Have you ever been in a situation where it was hard for you to distinguish God's choice for you from the choices or the wants that you had? Have you ever wasted time in prayers praying for your mate or the object of your desire to change, to wake up and to see who you were, to wake up and to treat you the way you deserve to be treated? Well, after this video today, you're going to have a clearer picture of why you went through the things that you went through. And you're going to start to look at your relationships a little bit differently. A lot of times we look at our relationship as just a series of unfortunate events. But those past relationships have the clue to the type of relationship that is going to spell success for you. My research has revealed three primary success patterns. My research has revealed three primary success patterns that consistently emerge for purpose-driven individuals. My research has revealed three primary success patterns that consistently reveal. My research has revealed three primary success patterns that consistent. My research has revealed three primary success patterns that consistently emerge for purpose-driven believers. Each pattern creates synergy differently and requires different elements for success. What's so interesting is that each pattern is equally God-honoring. What's so interesting is that each pattern is equally biblical and God-honoring. What's interesting is that each pattern is equally biblical and God-honoring. What's interesting is that each pattern is both biblical and God-honoring. What's interesting is that each pattern is both biblical and God honoring. What's interesting is that each pattern is both biblical and God honoring while operating completely differently. The first pattern recognizes foundation and structure. The second emphasizes purpose and calling. And the third centers around connection and emotional stability. The first pattern prioritizes foundation and structure. The second emphasizes purpose and calling, while the third one relies on emotional connection and relational stability. Understanding which pattern is yours explains exactly why some relationships fail while others felt peaceful. Understanding which pattern is yours explains exactly why some relationships created constant conflict while others felt peaceful despite both partners being spiritually aligned. Understanding which pattern is yours explains exactly why some relationships experience constant friction while others were peaceful despite both partners loving God. Let me be clear. This isn't about personality. Let me be clear. This isn't about personality types or love languages. Those are both helpful, but they don't address the fundamental structural design that point to success in relationships. This is about the unique divine design that God created for you to feel synergy in your most intimate relationship. So the first pattern that I've observed is based on foundation and structure. Christians with this pattern thrive in relationships with clear expectations, structure. Individuals with this pattern thrive in relationships with clear expectations, consistent routines. Individuals with this pattern thrive in relationships with structure, consistent routines, and clearly defined roles. They value stability, reliability, and practical synergy between partners. They value stability, reliability, and practical harmony in daily life. For someone with this pattern, success isn't just about shared values or an emotional connection. It's about building a structurally sound foundation that can weather any storm. Their relationship questions will naturally reflect on practical alignment. They will ask questions like, how do we approach financial decisions? What are our expectations for family involvement? How do we handle household responsibility? And how does our day-to-day day-to-day routine look? When foundation-oriented individuals receive generic advice that centers around focusing primarily on spiritual connection or emotional stability, when foundation-oriented individuals receive generic advice that tells them to focus on spiritual connection or share values, they often miss the structural elements that actually create peace for them. This would explain why someone who is equally yoked with a believer who shares the same faith find themselves having conflict over small practical issues. For this pattern, those small issues aren't small at all. They're actually essential to relationship success. The second pattern I've observed is centered around calling and purpose. Individuals with this pattern thrive when they're with a partner who shares their vision, when they have a complementary calling, and they can collaborate for growth. They value direction, kingdom focus, and partnership. For someone with this calling, shared values isn't enough. They need alignment in how they express and pursue their calling. Their relationship questions center around vision alignment. What is your understanding of your calling? How do you view the relationship between marriage and ministry? What role do you see us playing in each other's growth? How do our gifting and calling complement each other? When purpose-driven individuals follow advice that focuses on shared values, when purpose-oriented individuals follow generic advice that focuses on personal compatibility, when purpose-oriented individuals follow generic advice that focuses on personal compatibility or emotional connection, they often miss evaluating the mission alignment that is necessary for long-term relationship success and synergy. This explains why someone could be in a relationship with someone who shares the same values but still feel restless or feel like something is missing. For this pattern, shared purpose isn't a preference. It's an essential ingredient in their successful relationship recipe. The third pattern I've observed centers around emotional connection and relational stability. Individuals with this pattern thrive in relationships with deep understanding, emotional resonance, and authentic interaction. Individuals with this pattern thrive in relationships with deep emotional connection. Individuals with this pattern thrive in relationships with deep emotional connection, personal resonance, and authentic interaction. They value meaningful conversation, mutual understanding, and heart-level intimacy. This is one of my primary patterns for relationship. This is my primary pattern for relationship success. For someone with this pattern, relationship success isn't just about a practical foundation or shared mission and value, although both of those things are important. It's about building a genuine connection that creates a space for growth together. Their relationship questions naturally focus on relational growth. How do we communicate through difficulty? What makes you feel seen and understood? How do we maintain connection through busy seasons? How does meaningful time together look for us. When connection-oriented individuals follow generic advice, connection-oriented individuals follow generic advice to focus primarily on practical foundations or shared values, they miss evaluating the relational aspects that create peace for them. This explains why someone with a stable ministry-minded believer could feel disconnected or uneasy. This explains why someone with a ministry-minded believer could feel unstable or not at ease in the relationship. For this pattern, relationship dynamics aren't secondary. They are essential to their relationship success. Now, it's important for us to understand that we all have a primary pattern. What's important for us to understand is that we all have a primary pattern with elements of the others. No one is exclusively one pattern, but we do have a dominant approach that points to relationship success. When we continue to have relationship confusion despite prayer and godly counsel, it's usually because we are approaching our relationship through someone else's relationship success pattern and not our own. Your pastor may give advice through a foundation-oriented lens. Your mentor may give advice through a shared value lens. And then your godly friend may give advice through an emotional connection lens. Now you see how this could be a recipe for disaster? All are giving godly, well-intentioned advice. But if their pattern doesn't match yours, then the advice is only going to cause confusion. That's why understanding your specific relationship success pattern is essential for discernment. That's why understanding your specific pattern enhances discernment completely. It allows you to understand what creates relational peace for you. Ask the right questions when dating. Evaluate compatibility based on your success factor, and pray with specific discernment rather than generic uncertainty. After months of research and refinement, I've developed an assessment that identifies your specific relationship pattern. The initial response has been overwhelming, and while I usually reserve this assessment for our private clients, I'm opening up a limited time waitlist. This assessment doesn't just tell you what pattern you have. It gives a complete framework for your success. You will understand your specific success factor. You will learn to recognize compatibility in potential relationships. You'll learn how to ask the right questions during dating. And you will learn how to discern so that you can approach with clarity rather than confusion. If you're tired of the uncertainty in your relationship, this assessment will change your approach completely. Click the link below to join the waitlist. When we open registration, the waitlist will be the first to be notified, and you'll get some special bonuses as well. Remember, God designed you with a specific relationship success pattern. Understanding this pattern doesn't replace discernment, it enhances it. I'm Arnitras L. Strong with Love Elevated with Arnitras. Join the waitlist today to discover your divine relationship design.